But first, this morning, we got the first jobs and unemployment numbers since President Trump announced his sweeping international tariffs exactly 1 month ago. The U.S. added 177,000 jobs, which was better than expected. Here's a live look at the markets, which had been seeing steady gains over the past few weeks. That's despite this week's GDP report showing the U.S. economy shrank for the first time in years. So joining us live from the New York Stock Exchange is CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. Kelly, break down the report for us. You'd sort of signaled this to me yesterday that we had already seen some good job numbers over the past couple of quarters and that we potentially could see them be what we saw today.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you said it. This was better than expected. We were expecting right around 135,000. We got 177,000. There were some revisions to March's report. Remember, that was a big monster beat of over 200,000 jobs. But even with those revisions, it was still strong. It was still within the 12-month average. And when you kind of look at where the growth is coming from, a couple of things stood out to me. Healthcare has remained a very strong sector. We added 51,000 jobs in April. And then there are a couple of sectors that could take a hit in the future with tariffs. So warehousing and transportation, that added 29,000 jobs. Think about it. We saw in those GDP numbers, a lot of imports were coming into the country. Companies were stockpiling. You saw that warehousing number increase. That might not be sustainable. Also, leisure and hospitality saw a bump at 24,000. Then you also think about what we saw from Airbnb this week. They warned of lower demand from the consumer. We've heard from airlines that we could see a dip this summer in people getting out, spending money, maybe pulling back. And then, of course, the other couple things that we always look for, manufacturing down 1,000 jobs. And then remember those DOGE layoffs? Some of them are showing up in this report. The government actually lost 9,000 jobs, which tracks. Remember, though, we're going to see that kind of trickle over the next few months. Those folks that took severance, that took deferred layoffs, they don't show up in this report. Overall, though, Vlad, I mean, the market's up right now. Investors are, I think, breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief that we still have a strong labor market.
All right, so let's talk about what the numbers could potentially tell us about the president's tariffs. Would we see that reflected in a jobs report?
So think about this. This is April. This is when the big tariff announcements happened, the White House's reciprocal tariffs, and then sort of just all this back and forth. The numbers here don't reflect that businesses are slowing down yet, that they aren't hiring, that they're doing mass layoffs. Anecdotally, Vlad, though, I mean, we do know from talking to small businesses, from listening to corporate earnings calls, that companies are entering a wait-and-see mode. So, yes, this is a good report, but there's sort of an asterisk for me as I was reading it that there's a lot of different places where you could see pullback over these next few months if we don't get trade deals. And I will highlight this week, we got a couple of other labor market reports. We saw jobless claims jump, surge. That means more people filing for unemployment last week. And then we also saw that people are taking longer to find a job if they're laid off. So, not cause for panic yet, but a little bit of cracks. So that's why I'm looking forward to seeing those next few months come in, especially if we don't get any trade deals.
Yeah. All right. We'll be watching Kelly O'Grady live for us at the New York Stock Exchange instead of Studio 55. Kelly, always great to see you. All right. Let's bring in CBS News White House correspondent Willie James Inman, who is traveling with the president in West Palm Beach, Florida. So, Willie James, how is the administration responding to the jobs report?
Hey there, Vlad. Good to be with you from a rainy West Palm Beach, Florida. Well, the White House is celebrating this jobs report with the U.S. adding some 177,000 jobs. In fact, we just got a statement from the White House press secretary. She says in the statement, she says, this is the second month in a row where the jobs report has beat expectations. And she goes on to say that we are continuing to rise and the labor force participation is increasing. The labor secretary, I'll point out, essentially said that celebrated President Trump's call and move to bring investment back to the United States. Remember, the White House has oftentimes talked about that investment from tech companies like Apple and others that would bring about perhaps thousands of jobs down the road. But as Kelly pointed out perfectly, we have yet to see how the tariffs will affect the job market. But for now, the White House is celebrating this news with 177,000 jobs added last month.
So as you know, Willie James, Trump posted on Truth Social this morning saying that he's taking away Harvard's tax-exempt status. Break that down for us.
Yeah, that's right. This is something that has been floated for the past several weeks. Remember, there's been this back and forth, this spat between Harvard and the administration. In fact, the administration taking away some of the funding for Harvard and then Harvard suing to fight against that. We do have, of course, the president's statement there, but we also have the statement from Harvard pointing out that there's no legal basis for this move to take the tax-exempt status of this university, which benefits thousands of students. They go on to say it's such an unprecedented action and it would endanger our ability to carry out our educational mission. I'll point out that some 2 million organizations across the United States, churches and nonprofit organizations, universities included in that, receive that tax-exempt status. But the White House says that this move would be separate from the president's goal, that the IRS would independently review this status. It remains unclear what legal basis the White House or the administration is using to remove this status from Harvard. But it's certainly a fight that Harvard probably will perhaps pursue in the legal avenue with a type of lawsuit down the road, though, Vlad.
All right, and finally, Willie James, let's talk about the news we first reported yesterday. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is out in that role. He's now being nominated as UN ambassador. If the president isn't happy with you, why the soft landing?
Yeah, well, the situation is that Mike Waltz, the now outgoing National Security Advisor, is highly respected by the president and some others within the administration. That's why he wasn't ousted. He wasn't escorted out of the building. He got picked for this, I guess you could say, a high-profile position to be a UN ambassador. That certainly would require Senate approval, though. But it really speaks volumes about how well-liked Mike Waltz is by the president and those close to him. But still, nonetheless, he fell out of favor, at least a little bit, though, after that Signal chat where he inadvertently added a journalist to that chat where sensitive military information about a strike against the Houthis was discussed. That, of course, happened several weeks ago. But still, nonetheless, the White House moving forward with this nomination. In the interim, at least, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, can add another title to his job role, where he will be serving as the National Security Advisor on top of other roles, including his job as Secretary of State. Vlad.
All right, Willie James Inman, thank you very much. Appreciate you.